This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
He's 15 years old, but prosecutors want him to be tried as an adult. More on the legal moves against the suspect in last week's murder of two teenage siblings.
And it's a field with plenty of jobs to offer. How one college is giving students a leg up in what could turn out to be a lucrative career.
I wanted to get out of my car, but they were like, yeah, you're fine. We'll do everything for you. So that was good.
After being gone for a year, recycling returns to Johnson County. It's back with a big change for the people using that new service. But first, here at 5 o'clock, we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, and we are going to celebrate Todd Clausen today because he has a fantastic forecast ahead for us.
Yeah, you know, the sun came out as expected yesterday afternoon, and as soon as it did, it was pleasant out there with the low humidity and the sunshine, and we're just carrying that over here throughout the day today. So, yeah, start making those outdoor plans already here this morning. What do you need before you go here as you start off your Wednesday now? We made it to the middle of the week, so that is even better news. You need the sunglasses. Obviously, once the sun comes up, you'll need them from start to finish. And some of you may want a light jacket here this morning with temperatures that are currently in the 50s and 60s, and they'll remain cool until the sun comes up because we have clear skies. All the rain showers that we dealt with yesterday morning are now well off towards the east, and you look back to the west, and there's really nothing out there. And so that's the sunshine we'll enjoy throughout the entire day. 57, the cool spot in Crawfordsville, 63 in Bloomington. Temperatures will warm quickly once the sun comes up, but that's not until after 7 o'clock. Notice the jump from 8 a.m. at 60 to the noon hour at 74, and then mostly sunny skies later on this afternoon, and a high temperature, Lauren, of 78 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on your commute this morning as you're heading out the door. The good news around the metro area and central Indiana, we don't have any crashes to report on your roads at this time, so plan ahead for a little bit of construction. That's the only thing you should run into at this hour. You can see a few just delays around the area, and those are just minor delays as you're heading out the door. We'll continue to keep a close eye on things, but right now let's take a look on the south side, I-65 and I-465, the interchange down there. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly. We do have a little bit of road work in the westbound lanes past this area, but overall, no major problems for your morning commute. But right now, we do continue to follow some breaking news. Police are investigating a shooting at English Avenue and Bradley Avenue. Emergency crews were called out there just after 3 o'clock this morning. The parking lots of Bar 52 and Dairy Queen have been taped off. We do have our crew at the scene working to learn more about what happened here. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more throughout the morning.
We also have other breaking news from overnight as a man is in the hospital after a fight at a gas station led to gunfire on the northeast side. Metro Police responded to a call at the Marathon station at the corner of East 42nd Street and North Franklin Road just after 1 o'clock this morning. There they found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. IMPD tells us a fight between at least 2 people led to the gunshots. They say a U-Haul vehicle that may have been involved was later found at East 30th and North Richard Avenue. This morning's shooting happened just about 1.5 miles from the location of last week's shooting that left 2 teen siblings dead. Now, prosecutors say they want to charge the 15-year-old accused of killing those teens as an adult. Right now, the suspect faces several charges in juvenile court, including murder. The teen is accused of killing 15-year-old Ashlyn Nelson and 16-year-old Nicholas Nelson inside their apartment near 42nd and Post Road. A hearing on the request to waive the case to adult court has not been set.
Time right now is 5:03. New this morning, we're just learning some new information about an investigation in Knightstown, which police say shots were fired after a football game last weekend. Police were called out to the Knightstown field Saturday night after fights broke out at a semi-pro football game between the Marion County Crusaders and the Cincinnati Chiefs. Gunshots were later reported near the exit to the football field's parking lot. Police say they found 1 bullet at the scene. Officers also say a girl with a gunshot wound was admitted to the hospital, but her injury was not connected to the football game. So far, no arrests have been made in that case. Well, recycling service is back in Johnson County. It was a big disappointment for people who chose to recycle when that service ended last year.
Our Stephanie Wade is working for you to explain why it ended in the first place and what's going to be different now.
It's coming back.
It is. We're here. We're here. We're so excited.
After a year-long hiatus, recycling returns to Johnson County. Were you disappointed when it went away?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was very sad.
When they stopped offering the service last summer,
Threw a lot of stuff in the trash. I did. I took what I could to the paper and that kind of stuff, but other than that, I didn't have any options.
We have spent literally the past year not only trying to create this facility, but truly educating the public on what we can be recycled.
the problem was, the district says, people were just dumping their trash at the 7 different recycling locations in these bins. And the county couldn't afford to sort through it all anymore.
When you have a contaminated load, if 40, 50, 60% is contaminated, you can almost be assured that a lot of that is ending up in the trash in the landfill. And that's not what we're here for.
Plus, when China shut its doors, no longer accepting recycling materials imported from countries like the U.S., there was nothing the county could do with the excess.
Yeah, those containers, anything they have.
But now they're back with a new system. Before, folks would drop off their recyclables outside in these unstaffed bins. Well, now they want you to stay in your car and drive through this warehouse here where staff will remove their items for you.
I wanted to get out of my car, but they were like, no, yeah, you're fine. We'll do everything for you.
This way, staff members are able to correctly sort items, and people can feel more responsible with their waste.
I guess I'm a greenie. I have no idea. I just, it's important to me.
Working for you in Franklin, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. The recycling center will take cardboard, paper, plastic bottles and jugs, glass, aluminum, and tin cans. The center will be open Tuesday through Fridays from 7:30 to 4 and the second and fourth Saturday from 7:30 to noon. The service is for Johnson County residents only.
At 5:06, IUPUI will have a new men's basketball coach this season. Head coach Jason Gardner announced his resignation just one day after police arrested him in Hamilton County on drunk driving charges. A spokesperson for IUPUI tells RTV6 the decision for Gardner to step down was mutual. Gardner had been the team's head coach since 2014. The Jaguars are only 64-93 in Gardner's 5 seasons. Assistant coach Byron Rim will serve as their interim coach for the upcoming season.
A state lawmaker is due back in court in 2 weeks on charges of drunk driving and impersonating an officer. Democratic Representative Dan Forrestal made his first court appearance on Tuesday. He was arrested earlier this month on the east side of Indianapolis. Witnesses told police Forrestal was asking how to buy cocaine. Police say he later flashed his badge from the Indianapolis Fire Department and threatened to use his status to have officers fired. It is 5:07 and IT workers are lifesavers when you have no idea how to fix your computer.
Yeah, we use them all the time here at the station, and some college students are learning to become a little bit more efficient in information and technology and get classroom to career ready. IUPUI actually has a program where students have that opportunity, and our Aaron Lish is joining us live on their campus this morning with more on a program called I Do. Aaron, what exactly is this?
So with the School of Informatics and Computing, they are actually having this program for high school students. They're equipping them with these IT skills, getting ready for the graduation. So 8 different high schools in our area are part of this initiative, and the curriculum that they focus on is just specializing in IT. So they look at things like how to create apps, games, and websites, all while they learn how to code. It's free for the schools to have, as well as those students to take part in I Do. And they actually have a new youth internship program where students can connect to big-time internships with places like Eli Lilly. The young lady that you're seeing, Jalen, helped streamline information for scientists over the summer at her internship. And I Do really wants to help out minorities in our community to get them interested in this field, and students are really appreciating this opportunity.
It is addressing a critical gap that is having underserved students, giving the opportunity to get into the IT workforce.
I can see myself owning my own IT company, maybe creating something and sending it off to somebody.
So they also just received a $100,000 grant by JP Morgan Chase. That means 75 more students can apply for these youth internship programs through Project Indy. And this is a list of those 8 schools that are currently participating in the ID program, which can allow those students to get those great opportunities with the internships. And students in ID do quite well. They report 94% of those students in this program will go off to college. And we're going to hear a little bit more from Jalen in the next half hour. But for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Part of an Indianapolis grocery store is back open after facing health code violations. Last week, the Marion County Health Department suspended the food license of the Safeway on Kessler Boulevard near 30th Street on the west side after finding rodent droppings and urine in the store. The general sales floor and the meat department passed re-inspection on Tuesday and reopened. However, the store's deli remains closed for now. It is 10 after 5 on your Wednesday morning. Todd's going to check at a fabulous forecast.
Yeah, Meredith, it's really going to be a great day. We kind of had unsettled weather. Monday, all that rain. Yesterday, kind of a gloomy start, and then we got into the sunshine. Today, no issues as you take to the roadways. This morning, once the sun comes up, which is a little after 7 o'clock, temperature right around 60 degrees and mostly sunny skies, so grab the sunglasses. And as you come home from work, we're looking at a high temperature today of 78 with plenty of sunshine and just very, very comfortable temperature. So Storm Team 6 radar is nice and quiet for you here this morning. The rain from yesterday and that front is now well off to the east. That front ushered in a completely new air mass, and today should be beautiful for the Indians game. It's a day game. The Businessman Special, 1:35 first pitch, should be right around 75 degrees at that point, and again eventually getting up to our high today of 78 degrees.
Todd, thank you so much. Coming up next on Good Morning Indiana, bracing for Dorian. Puerto Rico getting ready for the storm to take hit later today, while the U.S. mainland keeps an eye out for landfall this weekend.
Even as the storm bears down, federal money that could help storm victims is being taken away. Why that money is being shifted by the Trump administration at what would appear to be a critical time.
And take a look here at I-865 and Cooper Road. We do have some slowdowns on I-865. Construction work scheduled in both directions here in the Dogleg. This is an area we'll keep a close eye on this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Hoosiers, only on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time right now is 5:14, and we have scheduled road work up in the Dogleg on I-865. This is at Cooper Road. You can see the crews out there working this morning. Use caution in both directions here of I-865. We'll continue to keep you updated.
Next week, you can weigh in on separate proposals that would raise your power bill. Duke Energy says it wants to increase rates by 15.5%. The increase would be phased in over 2020 and 2021. A public hearing will be held September 9th at 6 o'clock in the Carmel High School auditorium. Indianapolis Power and Light is asking for a series of rate increases over 7 years. IPL bills would increase between 0.8% and 1.3% starting next year. 2 hearings in Indianapolis will be held. First on September 3rd at New Augusta Public Academy, and a second one on September 10th at the Schweitzer Student Center on the UIndy campus.
At 5:15, thousands of wildfires are laying waste to the largest rainforest on the planet. Nearly 2 million acres in the Amazon destroyed so far. And now the government of Brazil is rejecting any international help in fighting those fires. Brazil's president has been criticized for promoting the deforestation and commercial development in the rainforest. He announced that he would reject more than $22 million in aid proposed by the G7 countries at their meeting earlier this week, saying he was insulted by the insinuation that he was partially to blame for the fires. Later, Brazil agreed to accept a smaller amount of aid from Great Britain.
Just as a storm in the Atlantic is bearing down on Puerto Rico and could later hit the U.S. mainland, the Trump administration is pulling tens of millions of dollars away from federal disaster relief. The Department of Homeland Security is shifting $155 million designated for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That money was set aside for disaster relief. It will now go toward the administration's policy of detaining migrants and returning them to Mexico.
At 5:16, that storm in the Atlantic is a tropical storm. It's Dorian, and forecasters say it could be a hurricane by the time it hits Puerto Rico later today. Much of the island is still feeling the impact of Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. The storm, and what critics say was a lackluster response by the federal government, left nearly 3,000 people dead and left much of Puerto Rico without power for months. This time around, FEMA says it is ready.
I think FEMA took a very aggressive stance for Dorian. It is the first system of the year, and we understand that the island is still very fragile.
FEMA says it has deployed more than 3,000 people on the island and has stockpiled 5 warehouses with vital supplies. And let's take a look at that storm right now, Todd.
Yeah, it's a tropical storm right now, and a lot of times these tropical storms are just big rainmakers, and you know, they have some wind, causes some minor damage. The problem is Puerto Rico is still recovering from last year, so the storm is still down here in the Caribbean. Here is Puerto Rico. It looks like it's just going to move across the far eastern portion of Puerto Rico, kind of more towards some of the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands there, and then it's going to reemerge back out into the Atlantic on Thursday, probably strengthened to a Category 1 storm. And then as it approaches Florida, some of the newer models now are bringing it in as potentially a Category 2 storm. And this would be Sunday night and potentially into Monday, making landfall somewhere near the Kennedy Space Coast there in Melbourne, and then maybe Jacksonville up towards the southern portions of Georgia. You can see that cone of uncertainty. So that's something we'll definitely have to watch. At this point, it's probably not going to impact us much here in central Indiana, but obviously I know a lot of people travel down to Florida, have family and friends in Florida, so that's something we'll keep an eye on for you, and Puerto Rico as well. Nice and quiet here in central Indiana this morning. We have completely cleared out the clouds. The humidity is gone as well, and we are enjoying a nice, comfortable morning for us. The rain that is well off towards the east and back off to the west. There's really nothing going on, and that's high pressure that's going to be in control for us here throughout the entire day today. And look at some of these temperatures. 58 in Kokomo. It's 63 currently in Bloomington. These temperatures probably will drop as you walk out the door, maybe another degree or two, since sunrise now is not until after 7 o'clock, and then eventually we'll start to warm them up very quickly once the sun comes up. So a light jacket may be needed in Crawfordsville at 56 degrees. 61 is the current temperature currently over in the Greensburg area. Here's how it breaks down hour by hour for you. I mentioned that temperature jump, 65 degrees at 9 a.m. By the time we get to the noon hour, we're already pushing 74 degrees, 76 by 2 p.m., and then temperatures will level off with mostly sunny skies this afternoon in the mid to upper 70s. This evening, skies will be clear. We cool off very quickly throughout your evening hours, but very, very pleasant. 70s eventually into the 60s, and then tomorrow morning we do it all over again. In fact, there could be some upper 40s tomorrow morning in northern locations, about 57 in Indy, and then tomorrow's just a day that's very similar to today. The only difference, a couple degrees warmer, getting up into the low 80s for your day tomorrow. And here's your 7-day planning forecast, which obviously includes the Labor Day weekend. There will be some spotty storm chances, it looks like, over Labor Day, but lots and lots of sunshine mixed in. Warmer temperatures as well as highs climb back up into the low to mid 80s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. You want to take a live look up here in the Dogleg I-865 near Cooper Road. Major construction going on there. Looks like the westbound lanes, but traffic is still traveling up to speed the opposite direction. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this spot and keep you updated this morning. But let's take a look right now at our commute. You can see up here on the Dogleg, that's where we have some slowdowns this morning. Southbound I-69 here around State Road 37. We do have a few slowdowns, as well as northbound I-69 coming off the I-465 ramps. And then here on the south side, as you're traveling westbound on 465 past I-65 towards the East Street exit, we do have some road work right now, so just expect a few delays.
The playoff hopes for the Indiana Fever are still alive. Tiara McCowan had a game-high 24 points and 17 rebounds as the Fever led from start to finish last night. They beat the Las Vegas Aces 86-71, snapping an 8-game losing streak to Vegas. The Fever are now 11-19 on the season with 4 games left. They'll need to win all 4 to have a shot at the WNBA's final playoff spot.
College football is almost here. IU head coach Tom Allen may have surprised some by naming redshirt freshman Michael Penix Jr. as the Hoosiers' starting quarterback. The left-hander missed much of the last season after tearing the ACL in his right knee during the Penn State game. Penix beat out redshirt junior Peyton Ramsey, who started 16 games for the Hoosiers over the past 2 seasons. The Hoosiers open their season Saturday against Ball State at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Sometimes it really is as simple as just be kind. Up next, life lessons we can all learn from a pair of 8-year-old boys.
Click, call, or visit a store today.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 5:24. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. Some road work here in Fishers, I-69 at 106th Street. We do have some delays, especially heading southbound. Just as you're heading towards 96th Street, it's only going about 15 miles per hour, so just be ready to hit the brakes and pay attention and take it slow as you travel through that spot.
This is the kind of first day of school story we love to see. An 8-year-old with autism was having a really tough time on his first day of 2nd grade in Wichita, Kansas. That's when a kind classmate stepped in. Christian Moore saw Connor Kreitz crying. What Christian didn't know is that Connor is on the autism spectrum and was overwhelmed by everything going on. So Christian simply grabbed Connor by the hand, walked him to the door and into school once the bell rang.
He was kind to me.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah. I was in 4th day of school and I started crying. Then he held me and I was happy.
No words spoken, just a quick gesture, turning this little boy's whole day around. So sweet. I love that story. It has gotten a lot of attention on social media. Everyone's saying that no matter what, you should just be kind to other people.
And they're both so cute and sweet. Very innocent. I love that story. Okay, we do want to talk about some more good news, and that's in the weather department. Todd Clausen is here to break it down for us.
Yeah, some of you may need a light jacket this morning when you walk out the door. Kind of that fall-like feel out there. And we're getting closer and closer to that time of year. Hard to believe. 60 degrees at 8 a.m. So once the sun does come up, we will see our temperatures warm pretty quickly. So by the time we get to the noon hour and you're heading out for your lunch, we're talking about temperatures already up to about 76 degrees. Then if you have plans this evening, try to make them outdoors if possible. Mostly sunny skies. High temperatures eventually this afternoon will top off in the mid to upper 70s for everybody all across the area.
Todd, thanks. Coming up next here on Good Morning Indiana, more gunfire overnight. We'll take you to the scenes of 2 shootings with what police know so far about what went down.
And RTV6 getting results for folks who were given just weeks to pack up and move. Just ahead, how they're getting help after the sudden closure of a mobile home park. That's next. We share it with you on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Residents of a Southwest Side mobile home park turning to RTV6 when they're told to pack up and move out.
Now we're taking legal help straight to their doorstep to hopefully point them in the right direction.
First here at 5:30, want to wish you a good morning. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, and all I can think about is being outside later today because it is going to be beautiful out there, Todd.
It really is. From start to finish today, it's a great day. We have clear skies right now. The past 2 days, we featured rain for your morning commute. You do not have to worry about anything today. Here's a live look from downtown to the north, and you can see the glisten of the lights there across the city skyline. It's cool, though, this morning. We told you yesterday, once that front went through, that new air mass would be in place. And look at this, 59 in Lafayette and Peru right now, 62 in Indianapolis, 55 in Logansport. And I point these temperatures out because they're not done falling yet. I would expect at the top of the hour, when the new readings come in at 6 o'clock, they'll be even a couple degrees cooler. So keep that in mind as you walk out the door the next few hours, that there's a little bit of a chill in the air. But the skies are clear. The rain from yesterday is well off to our east, so you do not have to worry about that. So here's how you plan your day out. You just feature a lot of sunshine, have those sunglasses handy. You'll be able to shed that jacket that I mentioned here pretty quickly in the morning. Should be into the low 70s already by 11 a.m. And then high temperatures eventually this afternoon. They'll be topping off all the way into the upper 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a live look right now at traffic here on the south side, I-65 and Edgewood Avenue, a little south of the 465 interchange. You can see traffic in this area is traveling about up to speeds. That is great news. But let's take a look right now at our traffic now map. I want to take you a little bit farther south. You can see the delay here in the northbound lanes as you're heading past Southport Road. Just a heads up, we do have some road construction in that area, and that's what's slowing down traffic just a tad. It's down to about 30 miles per hour as you make your way through that spot, but then it picks right back up and you should be on your way if you're heading towards downtown or to catch I-465 this morning. We'll continue to monitor this area and keep you updated. But now let's travel up to the Castleton area, I-69 and 82nd Street. You can see a steady stream of headlights moving southbound there on 69, northbound traveling up to speed as well. We'll continue to keep a close eye out for any more problem spots and keep you updated this morning.
We are following breaking news right now from the city's east side. Police are on the scene of a shooting near English and Bradley Avenues. Emergency crews were called called there just after 3 this morning. A victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Our crew on scene says the parking lots of 2 businesses are currently taped off. Right now, investigators are working to learn what led up to that shooting.
At 5:32, now to breaking news from overnight. A man is in the hospital after a fight at a gas station led to gunfire on the northeast side. Metro Police responded to that call at a Marathon station at the corner of East 42nd Street and North Franklin Road just after 1 o'clock this morning. Well, they found a man shot with a gunshot wound, and he was taken to the hospital. That man is expected to recover. IMPD tells us that a fight between at least 2 people led to those gunshots. They also say a U-Haul may have been involved. It was later found at East 30th Street and North Richard Avenue.
Now to a story you first saw on RTV6. Residents of a Southwest Side mobile home park need help and answers. Neighbors at the I-70 mobile home park turned to RTV6 when they were given just 60 days to pack up and get out after the park owners decided to shut down. The residents own their homes, but the property where they sit is owned by Blue Lake Incorporated. Last week, the owners told RTV6 the closure is an alternative to making $100,000 in repairs to the water pipes connected to each home. We contacted the neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic, hoping to point the residents who called us in the right direction.
If you don't want to rent to them anymore, that's fine, but many of these people have spent thousands of dollars on the trailers that are immovable. And so are they going to be compensated for that? Or is there going to be some kind of refund for some of the money they've paid for that? I think those are questions that the owner should answer.
Next Tuesday, elected officials and the mayor's office are holding a resource fair so I-70 mobile home park residents can learn more about housing assistance and legal clinic services available to them. And it is our mission to work for our neighbors. If you have a problem that you aren't getting answers, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
It is 5:34. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb is explaining his call for schools to not be negatively impacted by the iLearn exam scores. We told you yesterday those scores are expected to be low, and the governor does not want that to affect teacher evaluations and pay.
I want to make sure that during that transition period, we have ample time to get it right, and that schools aren't held accountable for that transition period. I also want to make sure that in the long term that educators and faculty, administrators, students, parents understand the need for some continuity and some consistency.
The Indiana Senate and House would have to act early next year to make necessary changes. It seems likely the iLearn scores the iLearn scores are expected to be released on September 4th.
It is 5:35. Creating apps, websites, and games are just a few things students are learning while they learn how to code in high school. Through IUPUI, students are getting a head start in the IT industry in the I-Do program, getting classroom to career ready. Our Aaron Lish is live on campus. And Aaron, how does I-Do support these kids?
So there's schools across the area here that have the I-Do curriculum, and they really help students learn everything they need to know about computers. And they also have the I-Do internship program, which really lets those students hone their craft when it comes to information technology.
Pike High School senior Jaden Coleman was able to intern here at Eli Lilly thanks to her opportunity through I-Do, which the program director Matthew Pellical says provides skills to meet the needs of tech employers.
And it is addressing a critical gap that is having underserved students, giving the opportunity to get into the IT workforce.
During her time at Lilly, she made the biophysical lab go digital, helping scientists streamline their work rather than manually putting in information.
So I'm able to say that I'm certified in Excel and I worked with different instruments.
And it's growing her overall confidence.
It helped me build skills in the professional world and also my everyday life.
With support from a grant by J.P. Morgan Chase for I-Do's new youth internship program, 75 more students will get the chance to explore the IT business like Jaden, which she believes is setting her up for success.
I can see myself owning my own IT company maybe creating something and sending it off to somebody.
So for your student to do this internship program, they must be a part of IDO. We actually have the list of all of those schools that will be involved in IDO on our website and our TV6 app. There are 8 of them right now. And if your school is not a part of that curriculum right now, you can actually talk to them to see if they want to get involved, because it is actually free for both the school and the students. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. It is 5:37 on your Wednesday, and new this morning, officials at Indiana State University out in Terre Haute are releasing enrollment numbers for the fall semester, and they're down. ISU leaders say that they expected this drop. Total enrollment is about 12,146 students. That's about 900 students less than last year. Officials say new admissions approach is behind the drop. They say the change emphasizes not how many students enroll, but how many graduate with a degree.
The number of lung illnesses possibly connected to electronic cigarettes in Indiana is growing. The state health department is now investigating 18 cases. That's up from 13 this time last week. 7 of those cases are confirmed to be related to vaping. Now, this is part of a nationwide outbreak. The Centers for Disease Control has tracked dozens of similar illnesses since June. The agency says some patients got so sick they needed a ventilator to help them breathe.
Vice President Mike Pence is scheduled to be here in Indianapolis this afternoon to speak at the American Legion National Convention. The former Indiana governor also spoke at this event last year when it was held in Minneapolis. He's expected to speak at 1 o'clock at the Indiana Convention Center, and this event is not open to the public. His visit comes on the heels of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's visit yesterday.
Indiana University has chosen a company to partner with as the school gets ready to serve beer and wine at football games this fall. IU Athletics is pairing with Upland Brewery, based out of Bloomington, for its pilot program selling drinks at Memorial Stadium this season. IU says it chose Upland through an open and competitive process. A couple rules for alcohol sales this fall. Of course, you must be 21 to purchase. You'll be able to get beers at most concession stands, beginning with the Hoosiers' September 7th home opener against Eastern Illinois. And all beer and alcohol sales will stop at the end of the third quarter. And if you go to an IU football game this season, you might spot our very own meteorologist Todd Clausen there cheering on the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I go down there all the time, so it should be a good start to the season. Hopefully we have better weather with the home opener next weekend than we did last year when we had the remnants of a hurricane moving through when they played Virginia. But of course, the first game of the season is this Saturday for the Hoosiers playing Ball State at Lucas Oil Stadium. So humidity scale in the comfortable level here today, so that is good news. And I almost just left it down there in the just great, because almost virtually no humidity at all in the forecast for the day today. So as the kids head out to the bus stop this morning, you may need a little bit of a light jacket in some areas, as the average temperature is right around 59 degrees with a mainly clear sky. As the kids come home from school, send them outside, let them play. Should be beautiful out there with the low humidity, the sunshine, and high temperatures that'll eventually top off right around 78 degrees. So it's a beautiful day today. We'll look ahead to the holiday weekend, which features some minor changes, but overall, I think you're going to like it coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, we will see you then. Tropical storm Dorian has its eyes set on Puerto Rico. Straight ahead, how residents are still recovering on that island are preparing this morning.
Real relief with Cosentix.
These Indigo Red Line buses are just practicing for the launch of the new rapid transit line, but on Sunday they'll start picking up passengers for real. The addition of the rapid transit will impact everyone coming into Marion County. That's why Call 6 investigator Rafael Sanchez is going inside the Red Line. You can join us for a 30-minute special devoted to all the changes you need to know about. It'll air tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here on RTV6.
Authorities believe this man shown here running around naked murdered 3 people in Virginia. ESPN reports the suspect, 19-year-old Matthew Bernard, is the brother-in-law of minor league baseball player Blake Bivens. He's a pitcher with the Montgomery Biscuits, an affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Police say Bivens' wife, child, and mother-in-law were all found dead. At one point, Bernard attacked a church groundskeeper. The officer tried to stop Bernard with mace and a stun gun. He was eventually taken taken into custody.
It is 5:45 this morning. The Trump administration is proposing millions of dollars allotted for disaster relief to be used in support of returning some migrants to Mexico. The Department of Homeland Security plans to shift at least $155 million from FEMA's disaster relief fund to the Immigration Enforcement Agency. Documents show that a portion of the funds will be used for detention beds, which Democrats have argued against. Republicans say increasing the number of beds will help to limit the release of detained migrants.
Tropical storm Dorian has reached the Caribbean island of Martinique. Local residents sharing images of flooded streets and downed trees as the storm passed through the small French island. The storm is expected to approach Puerto Rico next and continues to strengthen. Hurricane or not, Dorian will batter Puerto Rico with heavy rain and strong winds. Residents of the island are still recovering from Hurricane Maria in 2017, and they're worried for what that storm will bring.
I'm a little bit nervous because I'm afraid to lose my second apartment that I made and I repaid. And I took out some cables which belonged to the old house. I took it out for the tree this morning when my brother called my brother so he could help me out so I could tie the roof on another house.
President Trump has approved an emergency declaration for Puerto Rico ahead of Dorian. And I am in the tracking center right now with meteorologist Todd Clausen. And Todd, what could Dorian mean for us here in central Indiana? Will we see any impact?
And maybe some minor impacts. You know, sometimes these systems on the East Coast can slow our weather pattern down and kind of get us stuck in something. But it's unlike when these storms come through the Gulf of Mexico, then we get a lot of their moisture. And usually not the case when they make their way up the Atlantic side of things. So here is Dorian right now. It has 60-mile-per-hour sustained winds out in the Caribbean Sea, and you notice Puerto Rico here with San Juan. The storm system is going to move right along the eastern edge of San Juan. A very different storm than the one that did all the devastation in Puerto Rico last year, which had really strong winds. This is mainly going to be a rainmaker for them, but obviously still recovering from things, and that is the issue. Then it goes back out into the Atlantic, and now it's potentially going to make landfall in the United States as a Category 1 or 2 storm. Yesterday, the models had it weakening and being a tropical storm, but you notice as it approaches here on Monday morning near Jacksonville and Melbourne, Florida, it could potentially be a Category 2 storm, so that's something we'll keep an eye on for you. I know a lot of people have relatives and friends in Florida and travel there, so we'll keep you apprised of the situation. But here closer to home, it's a cool and clear start for us this morning as temperatures fallen back down into the 50s and 60s. The skies are sunny throughout the day today, and overall it's a nice holiday weekend for us as we will be bringing in a little more in the way of humidity, and there will be the potential for an isolated shower or two, especially on Sunday, but lots and lots of sunshine, lots and lots of dry hours. Do not cancel any outdoor plans. So the wind was the big shift here yesterday evening. You felt the difference from the morning when we had the clouds, we had the rain, and then that front went through and we ushered in the sunshine and all that lower humidity that is present out there right now. So it's a cool start. Some of you may want a jacket or maybe just a long sleeve shirt will do you just fine, but it's a little on the cool side for some of you. The cold front is now in Pennsylvania there with the rain showers. So here's how it breaks down for you hour by hour throughout the day today. We warm up quick once the sun comes up, but keep in mind now sunrise is not until after 7 o'clock this morning. So we stay a little on the cool side through 7. By 10 a.m. we're in the upper 60s. By the noon hour we're at 74, and then temperatures will level off in the mid to upper 70s as we work our way throughout the course of the afternoon hours. Then this evening, if you have plans, same thing as this morning. Once the sun sets, we'll cool off very quickly. And so if you do have evening plans tonight from the 70s, eventually falling back down into the 60s. And by this time tomorrow morning, 53 to 60 degrees. It's another cool start for us, kind of that fall-like feel. But tomorrow, we'll warm up even quicker than we will today. In fact, tomorrow we're up into the low 80s for your high temperature with skies that'll be mostly sunny across the area. And then looking ahead, obviously many of you may have travel plans as we head into the holiday weekend. Maybe some of you are just staying in town for Labor Day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday look to be decent. There could be a quick passing shower on Friday, but still low humidity at 83 degrees. Sunday's the day that's probably the best chance of seeing a spot storm or two in this forecast. But again, it is nothing that you want to cancel plans over at this point. Just know that it will be possible. Then Labor Day is looking really nice. Mostly sunny skies and a high temperature of 85 degrees. Lauren?
Todd, thank you. We are monitoring some issues right now down on the south side. This is northbound I-65, slowdowns here near Southport Road. And this is due to some construction in the left lanes. Now, as you're heading past Southport Road, it slows down to about 11 miles per hour, and then it picks back up once you get past that area. So that is good news. You'll be back on your way once you get through this little slow spot, but just plan ahead. Give yourself a few extra minutes if you travel through this area on the south side. Let's take a turn right now, get a live look from our INDOT traffic camera at I-70 and West Street. You can see traffic in that area is traveling up to speed. No major issues here to slow you down.
New this morning, AARP's Public Policy Institute says nearly 1/3 of Americans have not taken medication as prescribed because they can't afford it. The organization says medications for conditions like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease have jumped dramatically in 5 years. It's not just the uninsured that have trouble paying. It's people of all ages with different types of insurance coverage.
What really strikes us is the fact that this isn't limited to a few conditions. The reality is that prescription drug prices are increasing for all products, which means everyone who needs to take a prescription drug is being affected by what drug companies are doing with the prices of their product.
Part of managing their health condition is now managing the cost. Instead of rationing medications or skipping doses, patients should ask their doctor for cheaper therapeutic alternatives or generic drugs.
Well, do you remember every time you got off the school bus as a child? Just after the break, we'll introduce you to one high schooler, making sure that it's something his little brother will never forget.
And thousands of Harry Potter fans will converge in downtown Indianapolis this weekend. Download the RTV6 app right now to read more about a huge event surrounding the recently released Wizards Unite game. That's coming up. A Louisiana teen is going viral for turning his brother's bus stop into a showstopper. Every day, Max Tingle steps off the school bus in front of his house, and every day his big brother is waiting for him in a different costume. Rain or shine, Noah is there dressed as everything from Santa Claus to Chewbacca. And now there's even a Facebook page dedicated to Noah's daily shenanigans. Noah says before he leaves for college, he wants to make sure Max has lots of fun memories.
Wow, what an effort there.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Well, it is the day that country music fans have been waiting for to find out if your favorite artist is up for an award on country music's biggest night. CMA nominees will be announced during the 8 o'clock hour on Good Morning America. Carrie Underwood will host the show with special guests host Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton. Wednesday, November 13th, you can watch the CMAs and the announcement of the nominations only on RTV6.
Ooh, how good would a performance by all three of them be? History. That would probably be history, that's for certain.
I know, we'll have to tune in and see what happens. All right, Todd, we do want to talk about the forecast today because we have more good news for people who are trying to get outside.
Yeah, you know, if you're a fan of the cooler, more fall-like weather after what has been a warm summer, today's the day for you. It's going to be very pleasant with temperatures in the 50s here this morning in northern locations, as you see in Logansport, Zionsville, and Lafayette, running a little bit warmer from the city southward, but skies are completely clear, so it's a cool start. Some of you may want a jacket. Some of you may not need the jacket, but we will warm up very quickly once the sun comes up, but that is not until after 7 o'clock here this morning. Eventually, we're up to 78 degrees. It's a nice, dry, pleasant day with plenty of sunshine. Make sure you get out there and take advantage.
All right, Todd, thank you. Residents in Johnson County once again able to take advantage of county recycling services. Coming up in the next half hour, we're breaking down what's new with the program.
And here's a live look across central Indiana as you prepare to start your work day and school day with us. You can stay with us all morning long, plenty more news, weather, and traffic right here on Good Morning Indiana to kick off your Wednesday. We'll be right back.